München remain perfect at the top of the table with, of course, 8 wins now out of 8. Goodness gracious me. Can they actually be caught? We're going to get into that and much more next. That's why, folks, back once again with another video. Today is match number 9, that's right, over in Germany, as Bayern remain perfect with a 100% record, that's right. And the next up in line is, of course, RB Leipzig. Can they close the door to a little bit, of course, over in Germany? We'll get to that and much more in a second. If you do, where you been? Smash your subscribe on subscribe. All Blackburn Rovers, Bundesliga, world football, we're going to all here under one roof. That's right, here's a one-horse race right now. But RB Leipzig are doing just as best as they can, really, in a very, very one-sided affair. But, of course, Germany and Bayern are synonymous with each other. And, of course, can they to maintain their perfect start to the campaign? We'll get into all of that and more in a second. Big shout out to the members. Big shout out to the patrons. You know who you are. And again, your one-stop shop for Bundesliga is right here. Can I ask you, dare I ask you, for 40 likes on this video? You've been doing fantastic with the like targets. If you do that, we're going to try and ramp it up next time around. But 40 likes is, of course, the ass. Please, please, please. Costs you absolutely nothing. It really helps boost the vision of the channel, vision of the videos, makes the leagues, the prediction leagues more competitive. It just makes it much more engaging, of course, on the channel's behalf. So please, please, please do us a favor. 40 likes. It is, of course, a small favor. But let's get into it and recap the results last time around. And these were those, of course. On the left was my picks. The real deal was on the right. As you see, Werder Bremen with a 1-0 win over Union Berlin. I've got that one wrong. Frankfurt, Eintracht Frankfurt with a 2-0 win over St. Pauli. Mönchengladbach did lose to Bayern 3-0 as predicted. RB Leipzig putting 6 past Augsburg. I went with a 2-1 win. Hoffenheim with a 3-1 win over Heidenheim in the Battle of the Heims. Wolfsburg with a cheeky 1-0 win away to Hamburger. Meanwhile, Dortmund with a 1-0 win over Köln. Close to the mark there. Leverkusen with a 2-0 win over Freiburg. And Stuttgart with a 2-1 win over Mainz. Pretty perfect for me. I wonder how good I did in the prediction league. Well, we'll look at that in a minute. This is the table as you see it. Is Bayern with 24 points, Leipzig in second, Stuttgart doing the biz once again in third, and Dortmund are in fourth. Going down, still Mönchengladbach struggling, need a result and fast, need a coach right now. Heidenheim joining them, and Mainz at the moment in bronze relegation in that playoff. But anyway, let's take a look at the prediction league, and of course, there's the link right here. Well, I don't know what's going on here. I don't believe this, but it is what it is. Maybe I didn't even bloody do it. Regardless, O'Connor kick-ass with 17 points. Noah's up there alongside him with Silva, and Jake Harmon's in third with 16. I'm all the way down here for 8. I honestly don't understand how that is possible. You know, I don't get it. I don't get it. I thought I did fucking amazing. Anyway, of course, I'm just going to take it on the chin. Down 4 to 12. Shit. Ultra kicking ass. Jake Harmon's in second, and Lisa is in third. But it can all change. Of course, I'm not going to, forget about it. I'm going to just dust myself down and move on to the next one, because I believe in myself and believe in my predictions. I'm going to be back like a bad stink. Anyway, this is the link if you want to come in and out-predict me. I'm coming for the title right here, right now. And these are the next round of games. Goodness gracious me. And there's no rest for the wicked. They're coming at you this coming weekend, and we kick it off with a bit of a banger. That's right. The WWK Arena. That's right. Augsburg and the Sandro Wagner. They sit 15th right now. 7 points for them. Up against a Dortmund side and Nico Kovac. They sit 4th with 17 points. Now, they play each other 29 times since 2011. 5 wins Augsburg, 17 wins Dortmund. There's been 7 draws between the two sides. Augsburg coming into this under the back of just 1 defeat in the last, actually 1 win in the last 6. Up against Dortmund under the premise of a 1 defeat themselves under the last 6. They last played over at this venue. It was a 2-1 win for Augsburg, who did the double over Dortmund last season, who were a bit of a mess. And that was back in October 24. Right about this time last season, Dortmund are on the back of that 1-0 win over Köln. Leipzig are beating Augsburg 6-0 last time around. Of course, DFB Pokal is the focus this week, but bookies will back Dortmund on this game when they do lock horns on Friday night. Goodness gracious me. It's actually a tight turnaround in game for Dortmund. Meanwhile, of course, next up we do have Mainz as they take on Werder Bremen, coming at the Miwa Arena. Mainz under Bo Henriksen sit 16th right now. 4 points for them. 2 wins of the last 6 because of Bremen under Horst Stefan. They sit 9th with 11 points. They're unbeaten the last 3 matches. Now, they play each other 36 times since 2004. 11 wins for Mainz, 18 wins for Bremen. There's been 7 draws. Now, coming into this, Bremen are on the back of a, what are they on the back? They're on the back of that 1-0 win over Union Berlin. Of course, Mainz losing to Stuttgart, of course, most recently in the Bundesliga. The last time they played, though, at this venue, it was a 2-1 win for Bremen, who also did the double over Mainz last season. They're actually unbeaten against them over the last 5, including 4 wins on the bounce. The bookies will back Mainz, though, for this one. Is that right? I think that's right. Yes, Mainz for the win. I'm going to go with a 2-0 win as well for Mainz, despite recent shakiness in regards of form. Let's go RB Leipzig as they take on Stuttgart. What a match this is, of course, at the Red Bull Arena. Leipzig got Uli Werner. They sit second right now, 19 points for them. They won 5 of the last 6. They're unbeaten in that last 6 up against the Stuttgart side, who were just 1 point behind them. And they won 4 of the last 6 themselves. They played 15 times in 2017, 9 wins, Leipzig, 4 wins, Stuttgart. There's been 2 draws. They last played at this venue, 5-goal thriller it was, 3-2 it was for Stuttgart. Back in May 2025, Stuttgart did the triple over Leipzig last season, beating them twice in the league and in the DFB Pokal semi-finals to, of course, make it 4 wins on the spin against them. There's a lot of goals in these over the last 5 occasions. Let's roll it back. Last 5 occasions, yes, what we're looking at, 10, 15, 20, 22, 4, 24, 25 goals. It's averaging 5 goals a game between these two. Coming into this, though, Leipzig on the back of that 6-0 win over Augsburg. Stuttgart with a 2-1 win over Mainz. It was a tight one, of course. Both are in action tonight in the DFB Cup. Bookies will back Leipzig on this one. Going to go with a 3-1 win as well to maintain their second place status in the league. Let's go Union Berlin now as they take on Freiburg. Coming out of the Ander Alten Forsterei. Berlin under Stefan Baumgart. They sit 10th right now with 10 points. Just 1 win in the last 4. Up against Freiburg under Julian Schuster, the draw specialist. They are 11th with 9 points. Just 1 win in the last 6. They've drawn 4 of the last 6. They played Union Berlin 19 times in 2002. At 9 wins for Berlin, 5 wins for Freiburg, 5 draws as well. They last played at this venue as a 0-0 scoreline back in November 2024. Union Berlin are actually unbeaten against Freiburg over the last 5, including 3 wins and a couple of draws. That's right. Union Berlin, though, did lose to Bremen most recently. Leverkusen on the back of that 2-0 win over Freiburg last time around. Of course, bookies will back. Very tight. Fractional between these two. Freiburg are favoured. Going to go with a 2-1 win, though, for Berlin for me on this one. Then it's St. Pauli up against my boys, Borussia Mönchengladbach. Is today the day that Mönchengladbach finally get their win? Still yet to announce a coach coming at you at the Millennium Stadium. St. Pauli will be the hosts here. Alexander Blezin is the manager on the one side. 5 defeats on the spin for them right now as they sit 14th with 7 points. Up against Gladbach, who are 18th with 3 points. Back-to-back defeats for them. They've taken on St. Pauli 21 times since 1995. They won 11 of them. St. Pauli have won 4 of them, and there's been 6 draws. They last played at this venue. It was a 1-1 scoreline back in April 2025. Mönchengladbach are actually unbeaten in the last 3 competitive games against St. Pauli, picking up a couple of wins and that 1 draw. St. Pauli losing to Frankfurt most recently. They haven't scored a goal in the last 3, but Borussia Mönchengladbach are on the back of a couple of heavy defeats to Union Berlin and Bayern. Bookies will back. They're back in St. Pauli here. Of course, Gladbach are in trouble. They need a result, and a result like this will actually kick them on forward as well. They've also got DFB action tonight. Going to go with a 2-1 win, Mönchengladbach, to take it to the house. That is right. Let's go to the next one. It is Heidenheim taking on Frankfurt. That's right, coming on Saturday as well. This is, of course, the 1st of November. They played each other 6 times in 2015. 1 win for Heidenheim, 5 wins for Frankfurt. There's been no draws. Of course, Heidenheim coming in 17th place, 4 points for them. Just 1 win in the last 6. Up against Frankfurt under Dino Topmolo, they are 6th. 13 points, just 1 win in the last 5. They played each other 6 times, like I said. The previous time they played, or last time they played, at this venue, it was a 4-0 win for Frankfurt back in December 2024. Frankfurt did the double over Heidenheim most recently. In fact, they've won at least 5 competitive games on the spin, only conceding 1 goal against them in the last 4. Hoffenheim beating Heidenheim last time around. Frankfurt with that 2-0 win over St. Pauli, of course, to get them back to winning ways. What a DFB Pokal match is on the agenda for both these two sides. Heidenheim taking on Hamburg, Frankfurt taking on Dortmund, but of course, focusing on the Bundesliga itself, Frankfurt should win this game on the road. Going to go with a 2-0 win. That's, of course, with the bookies as well. We'll see if I'm right or if I'm wrong. Meanwhile, we got the big ding-dong classic. The 2 former champions, or the current champion against the former champion, locking horns at the Allianz Arena. Is Bayern and Avini Company, top of the table. 24 points for them, 100% form for them at the moment. Up against the Leverkusen side. And the Kasper Hulsmann, they sit 5th, 17 points. Just 1 defeat in the last 6. Now, they played each other 75 times since 1992. 46 wins for Bayern, 16 wins for Leverkusen. There's been 13 draws. They last played at this arena. It was a 3-0 win for Bayern back in March 2025. That was in the Champions League. The last time they played at this venue in the Bundesliga, it was a 1-0 win for Leverkusen, of course. If you look at the last 4 matches competitively in Germany, or in the German competition, we talk about the Bundesliga and the DFB Pokal. Leverkusen are actually unbeaten in the last 4. Goodness gracious me. Coming into this, though, Bayern on the back of that 3-0 win over Gladbach. Leverkusen on the back of that 2-0 win over Freiburg. Both sides in action again tonight as well in DFB Pokal action. The bookies will back. Massively fancied Bayern, massive odds, which is crazy to think, you know. But incredible odds. But of course, I see it as well. I'm going with a 4-2 Bobby Dazzler. And of course, Bayern sparkling once again. Into the final couple, into Sonntag we go. It is Köln up against Hamburg at the Rhein Energy Stadion. Köln under Lukas Kvesnic, they sit 8th right now, 11 points, just one win in the last 6. Up against Hamburg and Merlin Poulsen, they sit 13th with 8 points, of course, back-to-back defeats for those coming into this match. Now, they played 44 times since 1992, 15 wins. Köln, 20 wins. Hamburg, there's been 9 draws. They last played over at this venue in the Rhein Energy. It was a 2-1 win for Hamburg back in August 2024 in the Zweite Bundesliga. Köln on the back of that 1-0 loss to Dortmund. Hamburg on the back of that 1-0 loss to Wolfsburg. Bookies will back on this one. They're going with Köln, who are flying reasonably high for them. Going to go with a 2-1 win as well, just like the bookies backing the host. And then finally, it's Wolfsburg, it's Hoffenheim. It's coming at you at the Volkswagen Arena. Wolfsburg under Paulo Simonis. They sit 12th right now, 8 points for them. Just one win the last 6. Up against Hoffenheim, Christian Ilsner, they sit 7th with 13 points. Just one defeat in the last 4. Now, they played each other 37 times since 2008. 18 wins for Wolfsburg, 10 wins for Hoffenheim, 9 draws, of course. They last played at this venue. It was a 2-2 scoreline back in May 2025. Wolfsburg unbeaten in the last 4 competitively over Hoffenheim, 2 wins, 2 draws, heading into just 1 defeat against them in the last 6. Wolfsburg are on the back of that win over Hamburg. Meanwhile, Hoffenheim also on the back of that win against Heidenheim. Bookies odds for this one, tight, airtight, just about giving it to Hoffenheim. I'm going to go with a 1-1 scoreline right down the middle. And if I'm right, this is what the table will look like at the end of this coming match day. It'll be Bayern still top of the table with 5 points clear over Leipzig. Dortmund are in 3rd. Stuttgart are in 4th. Going down, Heidenheim, but Gladbach making moves into 17th spot. And of course, but it can still all change very, very soon, as can the prediction league, and I'm going to focus on that right here, right now. But that is it. Make sure you subscribe, of course. Did I ask for 40 likes? 40 likes, please, guys. Please. Give you some love in on the channel, and of course, boost us in the old YouTube algorithm. But until then, I'll see you soon whenever we return. But until then,